Technical difficulties there for a minute. Shocking. I'm eating again. Always dinner. We should call this Tuesday dinner. All right. Remind me tomorrow about updates. And let's go to let's pull up the dashboard, chat board. Sort of the stall on the start, had technical difficulties getting it going. All right, and we're off like a prom dress. How are you guys? Welcome back to another Tuesday live stream. Welcome back to another edition of Making You a Bartending Pro. I'm your host, Jason, and as usual, I am trying to cram some food in my face because this is always dinner time right now for me. So let me just take a couple bites. I had a comment from a viewer on one of my videos that I wanted to address right away. Shit, hopefully I didn't. Hope I didn't delete that. No, I didn't delete it. Okay, hold on. Let me pull it back up here. No, alright. This is a good Bob song. Love me some Bob Moses. Let's see, dashboard. How are you guys? How was your week? What's going on? Anybody get a new job? Make $1 million? Anything like that? Okay, let's see here. So hold on, I gotta find it. It's from, there it is, from Sandra. Oh, that's loud. Let me turn that down. It's too loud. All right. So this is a question, a comment that I got on one of my, older videos from a little while back about how to open a tab for a customer. Anyway, I'll get to saying howdy, how are y'all? You guys getting comments coming through? I'll do a test. Test. All right, mine went in there. Sweet, there we go. All right, cool. So, well, wait, hold on. What's happening here? Some things, it's like, that's the wrong sound happening. Okay, so Sandra Gee, she wrote in, just looks like yesterday, and she said she works at a full-service chain restaurant bar, and they have a bar rail that fits about 40 seats, so that's a long rail bar. And 4 of our larger 6-top tables are on the outside of the restaurant into the outdoor mall. Sounds problematic. We have a serious problem with people walking out on their checks, even with 4 bartenders and the servers well being taken care of. It's physically impossible to 100% keep an eye on every guest. Okay, so I realized what she's talking about here is the outside seats in the bar. I thought she was actually talking about the actual seats at the bar when I first read this. So I read it too fast. And, oh wait, hold on. Mic volume is low. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see if this makes a difference. Alright. Tell me if that's better. It should be the same. I guess that. Check that now. M-Shock 3. Sounds better? Sounds good? Normal? Thumbs up on that one? So I guess I need to remember to turn this all the way up. I didn't realize that. Shit. Learn something new every day. Well, I'm still looking for a technical assistant because I am not technical. Just talk loud, right? Yeah. All right, cool. So, formalities first. We need to get our weekly routine. Every good bartender should have a bottle opener on their keys, a little bevy or beer. Cheers, you guys. That was delicious. If there are any beer manufacturers out there that would like to sponsor the show, this is a slot for your beer that could be right here. Anyway, okay, sorry guys, I gotta try to plug myself. If I want to make this a business, I gotta act like it's, I gotta be professional about it sometimes. Okay, so back to the mall bar that has 40 seats and 6 top. Let's see, what did she said? She said the outer bar and 4 of our larger 6 top tables are on the outside of the restaurant into the outdoor mall. So this is probably like a little kind of a strip mall kind of a situation, it sounds like. So they have a problem with people walking out on the checks, and the employees, so like the bartenders, get a write-up. Some lose their positions for having walkouts. That's pretty severe. So we literally eat a walkout tab and pay for it instead of it going to the management, which is also illegal, which I'm not sure about that. That would depend on state law. You'll have to look that up. But that's the way it should be, because I know that generally the same thing, like if we have a problem with a bunch of walkouts, like if somebody just walks out on the tab, like you kind of get like 1 or 2 freebies, but if it's happening all the time, then it comes back on us and we have to pay that for sure. So she says that her job has 0 procedure for keeping tabs, no IDs, no credit cards. We can't ask for anything to guarantee our guests. So I'm wondering if that's the keyword. And she's not on the show right now. This is just a comment on a video. But she says we can't ask for anything to guarantee our guests will pay their tabs. So I don't know if that's like policy, which if that's the case, well, that's a problem. We'll talk about that in a second. So literally going on a trust system that fails a lot of the time, and it's making my job miserable. Can I sit down with the GM and start some kind of change with the system? It's so fucked up because it's a corporate chain and everything has to go by the book. But even in other bars, I have to give my ID if I'm drinking. Yeah, generally, like, we'll take a card. How do I go about bringing this up? Because my walkouts have become a serious problem in my workplace, and the great bartenders are the ones that suffer consequences due to criminals. What the hell can I do? So, Sandra, again, this is a comment that she left on a video. She's not on right now, so I can't get more information about this, but I had left a reply on this that I wanted to address this on the live stream tonight. So if it's policy, because she said they're not allowed to do it, so that's a really strange policy, especially, I mean, I get it if it's like a table, right? So like general table service, you don't go to a restaurant and sit down and like, okay, can we have your credit card, please? But I don't know if it's that much of a problem that these people are losing their positions in this place because of it, and these guys are having to pay for tabs left and right. I mean, they need to address that and fix this problem. You can't just, and I'm not sure about the laws. If that is illegal, then if they won't fix it, then you should go to the right, person that could get their attention, saying like, hey, you can't do this. This is illegal. You need to fix this. So the best thing you could do, Sandra, I told her to come watch this replay, so I'm going to address her directly. The best thing you could do, Sandra, is to try to go talk to your management. Of course, who cares if it's corporate? They still would have to know that the situation is happening, and say, hey, we're try to get some numbers. Like I've eaten X amount of tabs for this much, and the team, like everybody together, has had to pay this much, and give them a number. The fact that people are getting moved out of their positions, that's pretty serious. So you got to go to the management, talk to them like, hey, this is broken. We need to fix this. And ultimately, if it's that bad and they won't fix it, then the other option is you just leave. You get a new job. You start looking for another place to work. Okay, so I just wanted to address that right off the bat because I told her I would in the reply. So now I can get back to your guys' comments. How are y'all? I'm Shaq3. Thank you for giving me the heads up on the volume. I didn't realize that I had to have it turned up on this. Hopefully everybody can hear everything all right. Sounds like it's all good. Chris Coram, just talk loud. Yep, I'm on it. Mr. Paraguay 1, Paraguay. Thanks for your vids. Help me out for my first time. Sweet. Chuggalug Liam says, I'm surprised you like Stella. It's popular in the States. Here in the UK, it's what homeless alcoholics and poor students drink. That is awesome. Oh, man. I'm glad I'm in such stellar company. Yeah, most of the beer people around here love the craft stuff and it's not like in the UK where I've seen where it's like a lot of the kind of heavy ales and stuff like that. It's more the like the IPAs and the I don't really know anything about the beer in Europe, so I apologize if I'm misspeaking, but you know, like your heavy stouts and nut ales and stuff and whatnot out there I know are fairly popular, you know, like Guinness and stuff. So more than like that side, it's the like with the barleys, which it seems like it's kind of like the popular beers out there. It's like the complex malted or hops. So they love to go ape shit with like the hops with all the micros in the states. So I would say that it's popular. I mean, you see Stella handles at bars and restaurants all the time. You see bottles a lot, and maybe yeah. I mean, it depends on where you're at. Depends on where you're going. Like if you're going into some little dive bar in Kentucky, you're probably not going to find Stella. Maybe, I don't know, but places that like to have a big spread, you know, bigger restaurants, bigger bars, and whatnot. Um, Not hard to find Stella at all. Me personally, as I've said in other videos, is I just have a amateur palate kind of. Not like an amateur palate. I understand why people like the IPAs and all the complex craft beers and stuff. I just personally like the light stuff. Partially just because it's like it's delicious and I'll drink a lot of it. And a lot of those you know, craft beers, especially here in the States, man, they'll knock you in the back of the head if you're not paying attention. Whereas like these are like some light Mexican lagers, which are even more homeless and poor student like than Stella's in my opinion. You can just kind of, I call them cruise control, so you can just kind of cruise and drink, and they're not gonna kill you. So anyway, that was awesome. Thank you, Chuggalug Liam. Mr. Paraguay 1, best channel out there. I like to think so. I don't know if that would be true on the rankings in YouTube, but that's okay. Thank you for the kind words. Avi Charvetti, and I'm sorry if I'm murdering your names. I'm terrible at that. Good for learning practical stuff. Clemento crashes and Beam NG. Or is that Beam Energy? Love your videos. Thank you. Outside shouldn't get tabbed. Only at the bar. Yeah, Chris. Back to the original story. That's what I was saying. It's like, you know, it's not like you like go to a restaurant and you sit down there and like, give us a card, you know. But the establishment should be set up so that it's not easy for people to just walk away. So that's definitely on the management to figure that out. Oh, shake. Okay, I got you. It's just shake. Glad to find a channel. Sweet. Very used loosely. Taylor's with me. She loves some Stella, right? Yeah, yeah. And make sure you weren't a man. Don't make anybody mad. I've had it a few times. It's good. Yeah, adult soda. There you go. Chris is asking where I'm from. I originally grew up in Oregon. I'm actually going to wear a shirt. Woo, look at that. Right in the middle of the state. Bend is where I'm from. But I have lived in San Diego, California, which is very bottom of the state, just above Mexico, for the last 20 years, 20-some years. But I am considering moving back to Oregon fairly soon. So at the moment, and for the last 20-some-odd years, I'm from San Diego. My family's from the area. I'm fourth generation San Diegan, I guess, from my mom's side. She's from this area. So she brought us back down here when I was in high school. Okay, Mr. Paraguay, can you talk about how you split tips with your barbacks? At my bar, we have a weird way of doing it, in my opinion. So you kind of, as you said it there, at your bar, as with any of this stuff or most of my stuff that I make videos about, the default preface to any answer that I say is that it depends on where you work, right? There's no, this is an industry that such, the only hard rules are that you, depending on, right, in the States, most of the time, you have to be 21 and you need to show me an ID that says you're 21 if I ask you. And then if you get really drunk, I'm not going to serve you anymore. And that's basically it. You know, the rest of it is kind of freestyled, you know, up to the establishment and how they want to do it. So there are no like laws or rules. I mean, maybe within each state they might have stuff, so you need to look into that. But generally, the way that it goes, if you're a bar back, what you want to try to find in most busy bars, like nightclub style bars, super just busy, you know, pumping bars. Generally, if you have a bar back, you're gonna be busy. But the way that it goes at my bar and most of the places that I've worked at, the way that we tip the bar backs is it's usually like a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning we take all the money at the end of the night and we put it in a big bucket and then we dump it out in a big pile and we count it all. And we split the tips as such that it's 2-to-1. So every $2 that I make, the bar back makes $1. So if I made $100, my bar back made $50. If I made $200, my bar back made $100, which sounds really good. And that's why if you, which it can be, that's why if you work at a like thumping club or like a really busy bar where your bartenders, where it's, if it's that kind of a split and your bartenders are making $400 or $500, then that's a pretty damn good job just being a bar back. Not to mention Chris Coram. Sorry, I saw that he's like talking about Kentucky. I made a comment about Kentucky. No, nothing but love for Kentucky, my man. Or did I? Maybe I said embarrassing. Anyway, or you're saying that you're from Kentucky. Okay. ADD. Can you tell I have ADD? So you gotta. Hopefully you're getting somewhere around that, right? The 2-to-1. So hopefully you're getting about $2 to $1. Hopefully nothing less than like 25%. Meaning if I made $100, you're making at least $25. And if it's less than that, like if you're busting your ass all night and they, the bartenders are walking with more than $200 or $300 and they're only tipping you like 10 or 20 bucks, then I would, try to move into another position, or just, they're working you to the bone and you're not making much money. So unfortunately it depends on each establishment, and it's up to however they want to do it. Kentucky. So he's from Kentucky. Shake's from Texas. Just moved to Colorado. Oh, yeah, buddy. And then Paraguay. Lived in Miami, by the way. So South Florida. Taylor, Sacramento. From Sacramento. Hey, I got some good friends from Sacramento. Sacramento's not that bad, really. I mean, sure, there's maybe more cool places, but there's definitely a lot worse places, for sure. At least you're within a short drive, fairly short drive, or definitely a short flight to some cool stuff around there, or around the West Coast. Shake, never thought he'd get out of Texas, but he did. Yeah, buddy. So at Mr. Paraguay is at his bar, do 10 to 20%, and it's up to our decision to determine the split. So like up to the bartender. Yeah, that's cool if you have like generous bartenders, but it sucks if Taylor, they're little fun faces. It sucks if you have some tightwad bartenders that you work for. So I don't know, man. Can't do a whole lot about it. Yeah. Jack. That's weird. He just joined. He's also from Sac. Jack, meet Taylor. Taylor, meet Jack. You guys live in the same town. You can hook up and go watch my videos together. Learn things. Go teach each other watching BartendingPro videos. So, Shaq. Am I saying that right? I'm saying Shake? Shaq. Shake. Shake. Right? Yeah, Shake. Okay. I keep trying to say Shaq. Shake. Yeah. Shake, Sac, Sacramento. Got too many things going on that sound the same. Yeah. So, Shake's saying could be a podunk town like where I was raised. Adam Lopez. What's up, brother? been out of business 2 years looking to get the rust off, you'll be all right. Just the first shift, it'll be like riding a bike, man. You'll be fine. Yeah, I know. Feel bad for them, Mr. Barry White. So Taylor, that's one good thing. 1 to 2 hours from the beach, 1 to 2 hours from the snow. Yeah, see, there you go. It's not bad. Shake. Gotcha. Cool. Right. Mowed through all those questions like in a hot second. So what else is going on? What do I got going on? I'll take another bite of dinner here. While you guys think of some other things that you want to talk about. Guess there's not a whole lot of news going on in our world right now. Steve Morgan, thanks for the vids. Ever been a brand ambassador? Does it pay well? I have not been a brand ambassador like for bar stuff. I used to be a pro snowboarder a long time ago, and that's basically a glorified brand ambassador, and they pay you stuff. It was cool. Paid all my bills, and I got to travel around and get paid to do it for a couple years. That was awesome. I wasn't in it long enough to like make a lot of money. I got hurt when I was young and kind of fell out of the scene. But anyway, to get back to your question, I have not done brand ambassadoring. Well, that's a real word, but we're gonna make it a word. My wife is a brand ambassador for like yoga stuff and yoga clothes, and because she's like a yoga teacher, and you know she's pretty sexy. I like to think, and they don't pay her shit really. They just give her stuff. So unless you have like 5 million followers, actually I don't know. I'm sure there's like an algorithm but you need to have like many tens of thousands of, you know, I think it's like well over 50 or 100,000 followers before companies are really going to come to you and start throwing money at you. Unless you're just some like smoking hot chick and you got, you know, 5,000 people and they're like, here, we'll give you, you know, because that's the benefit to being a young beautiful woman on the social media scene is they can pay you that. Sometimes, but like I said, my wife's pretty good looking girl, and they don't really, I mean, they get like, she gets free stuff and special notifications on fun things and parties and whatnot, but yeah, I think you gotta be huge following before people start throwing a bunch of money at you. My best avenue is this, YouTube. That's where my most solid following is. Mostly just because I don't have the time or the patience to do the rest of it. Like if you go look at the rest of my social media stuff for Bartending Pro, it's very pathetic. And just because I do absolutely nothing for it. And just because I don't have the time and there's no like direct return on my investment for putting pictures on my fucking Instagram account. Versus like when I put a video on here, I can see that you guys are watching it, interacting, and asking me questions. So for me, this is a much better platform. And yeah, we're actually about to hit 50,000 subscribers. So thank you guys. We're almost there. I have been a member of, they're called partner, what the hell do they call them? They're basically like these networks that come in and they pick up YouTube channels and then they help promote you. Supposedly. They don't really do that most of the time unless you're like massive, huge with millions of subscribers. Then they'll give you stuff. But I forgot my original point. What was I going to say? Oh, so I do know that at the kind of 50,000 to 100,000, more the 100,000, like when you get 100,000 subscribers, then you'll start to have like big brands coming to you and going like, here, we'll give you $1,000 to make a video with our bottle of tequila in it, you know, that type of shit, or you know, whatever your channel is about. So kind of halfway there, and that's kind of like my goal that I've always had since like in the last year or two, since I started to like try to be consistent and a little more serious about this channel, is like, if I could get it to 100,000 subs, that would be awesome. And that would be kind of like a life goal, like check. So we're halfway there, you know. So we'll see. But I know after I hit that 50 mark, there's automated tracking, you know, algorithms that say like, you know, this guy's got 50,000 subs, and then stuff will start to come to me in the next year. So we'll see. I know you guys aren't really, but he asked about that. Sorry. So okay, so turns Nako. Sometimes you guys just your names, I don't get them. I can't say them right. Nako X. I hope I'm saying that right. When I bar back the head of bartender, that would cut my tip percentage every closing shift she had. I finally caught that bitch in her lies in front of the manager. Yeah, there's some shady people in this industry. You know, that's the kind of the dark side of it, which is another video on my to shoot list is the kind of the shady side of it. You know, I've talked about the alcoholism and the drug use that's all over the place on both sides of the bar. But there's also the kind of shisty, shady, because there's cash. You know, it's like a cash business, a cash kind of a job where, you know, if you're in a busy bar and there's just a big tip jar and people can just kind of, it doesn't happen very often, but it can happen. And stuff like that, if it's just sort of on the honor system for how much you're supposed to tip your bar back, and she's just kind of a lying, shady beezy, you know, you just gotta have faith in the karma of the universe to get all woo woo. That she'll have it coming to her, and she'll get it. She'll get it. SpaceX Heavy Falcon launch tonight. Oh, thanks, Shake. Talking about like stuff in the news. I didn't see it. I had my head in my computer working on school stuff per usual. In fact, I get to take a Spanish test after I finish this live stream with you guys. Isn't that exciting? So excited about that. What kind of bar are you working at now? Jack L. from Sacktown wants to know. I work in like a restaurant bar. So it's a really busy, kind of local, really known spot in North County, San Diego. And it's just a restaurant that's been there for 20 some years. And it's got a big horseshoe bar downstairs that used to have a crazy party scene attached to it. And like in my, 10 years ago, like when I was in 15 15 years ago, like when I was in my early 20s and freaking partying and shit all the time, we used to go down to that bar before I worked there. And that was like kind of one of our spots that we go every so often. Now, for various reasons of how different areas have kind of built out, and it's kind of how the town that I'm working in has sort of restricted growth while other areas have grown. The kind of young party crowd has sort of flocked to those newer areas. So our business has shifted from food as an afterthought to partying as the main thing, to now food is the main thing and partying as an afterthought. Which, personally, I like it that way because I'm not there super, super late. As I've lamented on here a bunch of times, I don't like the fact, that's one of the reasons I left working in nightclubs and super busy, super pumping busy bars in terms of just like drink, that type of a scene, is that you turn into a vampire because you're there so late. And it's really hard to have like an early morning routine. And for me, someone who does this job is because it's accommodating or because it helps, it's flexible in the schedule and is accommodating to me having flexibility in my time. I don't do this because I love. I mean, it's fun as hell being a bartender. I like being a bartender, but I don't do this because I love being a bartender. I do it because it allows me to live my life the way I want to. And so, like the nightclub things it's just too busy. I mean, not too busy. Busy's good, but it's just too late, and you turn into a vampire. I worked at a place that was just the typical all the way up until 2 a.m., which that's the law in California, right? We can serve all the way up till 2 a.m. and then that's it. Some places that are like after hours clubs that have very special licenses, and it's a very, very, very rare thing, and you have to pay a lot of money to be like a member there and shit. So anyway, most bars are 2 o'clock in California, 2 a.m. And we would go all the way, like right up to that. And then we would get people out. It would take us a half an hour or so just to get people out. So we didn't even start cleaning until like 2:33 almost. And then you're cleaning for like an hour to 2 hours. The place that I was working at was like brand new, so they wanted everything just pristine. So it would take us 2 hours to 2.5 hours to close and clean the place. So you're talking 4 or 5 in the morning. And I left and saw first light twice in a week, and I was like, no, fuck that. I wasn't even making that better of money than the place where I was at. So anyway, I know that was kind of a tangent, didn't really answer your question, or hopefully I answered your question. I do that. I go on tangents. I just jabber away. All right, let me go back up here and make sure I didn't miss any questions here. Oh, we were talking about Turn Snocko X. I'm trying to get that name right, man. And how he caught that stealing, lying bitch. He was snagging, not tipping him the way she should have. Oh, no, that was Jack. That's right. What kind of bar are you working at? There you go. Chugga Liam. Anywhere cool you really wanted to bartend before you leave the biz? Not really. I've kind of done it, you know? I've done, like, the dive bar scene. I've done the, like, thumping late night club thing. I've done the craft bar thing. I've done the fine dining thing. And ironically, out of all those, I landed in a busy restaurant bar. So to each their own. And I will feel like I've experienced the whole spectrum. The only thing I didn't do was work at a pool party bar in Vegas, but I don't have any desire to do that. And as I've talked about in other videos, why it's just the energy requirement is so intense that you understand why there's a big drug problem in a lot of the people that work in that scene. So Goblin. Let's see. Stealing Goblin got fired. I like that. It's a good word for it. Sweet. Let's go. Glad you like the videos. Stoked it's helping you become a bartender. A better bartender. And Stefan, not a bartender nor have an interest of being one, but I enjoy watching your videos. Sweet. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Got my own place now. I'm trying to set up a mini bar for guests. Yeah, so I got that video on how to set up the ultimate home bar. Stefan, go watch that out. Go watch that video and check it out. Tink. There we go. Jake, still going through your videos, but what are you going to school for? So I am about to graduate from the School of Business. So it's a business program studying business management and entrepreneurship. So I've always been a like business idea every other day guy. And after failing miserably to kind of try to start a couple of things, I realized that I should probably learn how to actually properly vet, start, and launch and run a business. So that's why I'm in school. That's why I went to school to do that. It's been the longest school career of my life because after I left snowboarding, I didn't kind of know what the hell I was going to do. So I came back to San Diego and just kind of putzed around for a few years, and then took a couple like JC, junior college, city college classes, just sort of like, I should probably go back to school. So I started sort of taking some classes, but I still didn't know what the hell I was going to do. And then I finally like, this is stupid. I'm kind of wasting my time trying to take classes. So I stopped for like 12 years and basically just went in. And that's kind of like when I started bartending. I'm like, this is cool. I'm just going to do this for a while. And, was in my, mid 20s through early 30s and just partied and had a lot of fun. Being a single man in the bartending gig is a lot of fun. So and then finally, came out of that and got married and said, like, hey, I should probably get my shit together a little bit more than just being a bartender, which there's nothing wrong with that, but just from where I was at, like was looking for something a little bit more. And so I went back to school, and now by the time I graduate from when I first took those classes, it'll be, see, I started around like 2002, it'll be like 15 years that it took me to get a 4-year business degree. So, Jack, how long is the school? It's a standard, 4-year program. Cal State. It's in the Cal State program, Cal State San Marcos, which has a really good business school. But yeah, it feels like it's been so long, and I'm almost done. Graduate in May. Finish line is in my sights. I can see it. So basically just doing my senior experience, senior project stuff, and then bam. Woo! Out there, I got a few projects that I'm working on. Not starting a bar, although that could be fun. I would know how to do it, but I'm gonna keep doing this channel, and then I have a few little side projects that I'm working on developing. So Steve Morgan, bartending New York City. Some restaurant owners are forcing front of house share tips with back of house. Anything similar happening in California? Yeah, it's one of those, like, kind of depends on the establishment kind of thing, Steve. So like some places have that. Like I have buddies in town that work in places just across town that stipulates a certain percentage of your food sales has to go to the kitchen, and we tip everything, and kitchen busters, dishwashers, food runners, everybody who helps you do your job, we generally tip out. How much and the same things or that's happening in your place, I don't know. Maybe in some of ours, but it's like I said, it depends upon each individual restaurant or bar around here. But yeah, I mean, if those guys are back there sweating their ass off for minimum wage, who's to say that they're not working as hard as we are? So if we're just happen to be in the position where we're like stacking dollars like mad, I fucking throw them $10. What is that? So it's not a big deal. But I understand if it's something that you're used to, and then all of a sudden they change it, you're like, what is this all about? So yeah, there's legislation. I think. Man, I'm trying to think if I've heard something like that coming down the pipe in California. And if you're saying that too, I wonder if it's like a federal thing that's happening. I don't know. Not sure. I'll have to look into that. Stefan, it seems like you made progress and are willing to admit mistakes. People with mindsets like that will make great progress. Yeah, are you talking about my business stuff or my bartending? Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you will learn more in life, and I just learned that I'm not claiming to be the genius of this. I'm stealing this from a much smarter one of my professors, that you'll learn more from the mistakes that you make. Actually, this is a class that I have CEOs or like executives called in the executives chair, where executives come in and talk to us about life and running a business and whatever we ask them. And he said, wildly successful, this guy, and from nothing. He wasn't a trust fund kid. He built it from nothing. And he said, you'll always learn more from the hardships and the mistakes you make in life than from the things you succeed at. So yeah, Stefan, it's good to fall on your face and crash and burn, because then you really learn those lessons. So yeah, it's important. Taylor, go get a Stella, girl. Tink, have one. They're so delicious. As soon as it touches your lips, it's so delicious. Shake, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Wow, what's up? Just got done with work, turning 21. So just turned 21. So last weekend was fun. Congratulations, welcome to the club. Man, I hope you destroyed yourself and you had a nice hangover. Although when you're 21, you don't really get hangovers. You don't start getting hangovers until you're about 30. You don't really know what a hangover is until you're about 30. Just my opinion. So Stephen, how much should you tip in America? In Canada, it seems to be standard 10 to 15 because service bartenders actually get required to be paid minimum wage. So each state, Stefan, in California is different in how they tip out, or not, excuse me, not how they tip out, how they pay. So what's homeboy's name back up here from California? Steve Morgan might be able to chime in on this. I know that some states on the East Coast will actually subsidize how much you make. So like that you're paid less than minimum wage because you're making tips, which I think is complete bullshit. But I know that some states do that. But there is no like requirement. But the standard is generally 20%, which sounds like a lot. But most people expect 20%, especially if you're not a foreigner, or if you don't have some weird experience, like they're pissed off and they stormed out of there. Like I will always just because like when I'm in the States anyway or anywhere in America, if I go to a bar or restaurant, I will always leave 20% on a tab, unless it was shitty service or something like that. But generally it's 20%, which is high. But if you do 15, you should be good. All the bartenders watching this are like, don't say that. But that's on like a food tab. So it's different if you have like, if you come up and order a round of drinks, let's say there are 5 drinks, right? And they're like $10 each or something, these cocktails. And that's a $50 round. I'm not going to expect you to tip me $10 on 5 drinks. It's not 20% like that. That's like, I'm talking about like a food tab where you sit down at a restaurant. Now, if you're just making 5 drinks that are $50, usually what I'll do is I'll do $1 per drink-ish, depending on the bartender. But usually it's about $1 per drink. So in that instance, I would give them $5, which sounds, kind of high again. Maybe if you're from another country that doesn't do that. But that's why bartending in America is, can be a pretty legitimate career for a lot of people. So 20% is the standard expectation, but they'll only judge you a little bit if you go less. No, I'm just kidding. I'd say if you're worried about it and you want to be a solid tipper, then go 20% if you're in the States. Miss Nat Hunter, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a little while, girl. Sensei, oi, young Jedi. Good to see you. Thank you for the love. Good to see you. Alden Games. I don't know if I can ask this, but you can pretty much ask anything on the show, I believe. What would you say is your average tips per day? I'm a delivery driver who wants to get in bartending, but I'm worried about income. So my average and what you would average when you're first starting are not going to be the same. And it depends on the place that you work at. I have a video called What Do Bartenders Really Make? I believe that's the title of it. So go back and watch that, and I talk about all that stuff in detail, Aldwin. So go watch that, What Do Bartenders Really Make? Generally, what you're shooting for, and for you when you're first starting out, it's just you're going to take a hit, right? You're not going to be able to walk in as a brand new bartender into like a nightclub and start stacking, $200, $300, $400, $500 a night right off the bat. That's just not going to happen. I always tell people to try to shoot for a spot where they're making $100 a shift on a night, right? Once you've kind of gotten in and you're a bartender at an establishment and you have 3 to 5 shifts a week, if you can be making at least $100 a shift on those, then you should be stoked, right? Or you should be surviving, I should say. So my averages range anywhere from that to double and a half that, or triple that, depending on the time of the year. But can go all the way down to I'll have slow days, day shifts where it's raining and I'll make $25. So it's just part of the game. That's just the way it goes. But average, I don't know. I'd say in between $100 and $200. So, but that's because I don't work at like thumping clubs anymore. I work at like a restaurant bar. So I definitely don't work at the places that make the most money. And again, because my point in this is not to just make as much money as I can, which sounds crazy to some people. But for me, this is about time freedom and flexibility in my schedule. And so I'm at a place that allows me the maximum flexibility. I would have to make close to well over $100,000 at like a standard job before I would consider leaving this, even though I make about less than half that. Yeah, probably about half that in actuality uh, 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 to leave because of what it's worth to me to have that kind of flexibility. It's like if I was making $100,000 a year, but I only got guaranteed I could only have 1 week off per year. Nah, hell no, wouldn't take it. Not even for, wouldn't even think about it for a second. I average almost 3 months off per year. We take a huge trip every summer where we're gone for like a month to a month and a half, almost 2 months. Then I'll do a couple of trips in the wintertime to go snowboarding. Then we'll take, um, 5 to 10 long weekend trips during the year. So I take at least about 3 months off during the year. So to be able to have that to have that type of time, amount of time off, is so hard to find, especially in the States, because we work more than any other culture in the world. Any other culture. We think that a week off, like a weekend and a week and a weekend, as a holiday, and you get one of those a year, we're like, yeah! Like, no, we're getting bent over. Most places average a month and a half off vacation at one time, you know. So in America, we're stupid as hell. We're conditioned and trained to live to work, whereas I work in order to live. So, sorry to get on my soapbox there for a second. But yeah, all in. There you go, buddy. You gotta. It's doable, but you'll definitely take a little hit first and foremost. Yeah. No hangovers yet. See, I told you, Noel. It's because you are 21 and young. Someday, in about 9 years ish, your liver will get beat up enough that it won't work as well as it does now, and you'll have too many, and you'll start to experience hangovers. Just wait. They're coming. I promise. I promise. Unless you're not drinking very much. Yeah, no hangovers are my specialty. Hitting 30 in August. Yeah. Yep. Shake. It's just one of those things about getting older. Your liver doesn't break it down like it used to. Holy crap! I just got a big surge of questions. Sometimes my my internets are a little bit slow in uploading these, so I'll catch up here because it's already 8 to 8. We're gonna go a little bit over tonight, so I'll get all your questions answered, guys. Let's see, where was I before I went on a tangent? We were talking to Aldwin. All right, and then Shake about hangovers. Max AA, starting a bartending course next month. I'm super excited about your videos. Has prepared me pretty well, I would say. Turning 20 right at the start of the course. Make sure if you're not in a state where you can turn 21, you might have to curb that enthusiasm for a little bit. But what I would encourage you to do if you have to be 21 to bartend is to go out and get a job in the industry immediately. So in any position, busboy, barback is the best, host, food runner, anything. And then once you're in, you'll be able to make friends with the owners, the management, the bartenders, and it's all just, once you're in a place, it's all family, right? And then it's just a matter of letting them know that you want to move up, and then showing them that you're a good employee, showing them that you're a valuable asset, right? So you can go watch the little mini series that have like how to get a bartending gig, how to get a bartending job playlist that I have. Go watch all that, and it'll show you how to let them know that you're an asset and how to show them how that you are an asset that they want to keep. And then when you turn 21, you'll be slotted right in there. Or if you're in a state that you don't have to be 21, which there are a couple of them, or in a country, it doesn't matter, then you're solid. Steve Morgan, yeah, minimum wage 15. Some bartenders make $7.50 plus tips in New York City. 15, that's pretty fucking good, man. Shit, is that statewide? Damn, that's pretty good. I guess California's nipping at the heels. They're supposed to get to 15 by 2020, I think. Maybe in 2 years they're supposed to get that, or 13. They're supposed to be pretty close. So Stefano says, my cousin came from LA for the first time and tipped a bartender $150 because he didn't know how much to tip for the first few orders, and he didn't tip. I told him about it, and he really felt horrible. No, that's good. That's like buying good karma from the universe, in my opinion. You know, if you over tip, like whenever I'm configuring, it's like when in doubt, just go a little bit more. Especially if you're in the industry, because that's good karma coming back to you specifically in the industry. I feel like when I tip well, then that's like kind of, karmic stuff from the universe is going to come back and I'll get good tips. It's like, I know it's a little bit woo-woo and out there, but I'm married to a yoga teacher and I live in California. What do you expect? So anyway, but that's neither here nor there. So the bartender was too stoked. It seems. Yeah. Well, I mean, we've had every once in a while you'll get big tips like that, so it's not that unusual. Every once in a while you'll get big ballers that'll come in. They're trying to show off for like a group of people or some hot date or something, and they'll throw you like a huge tip. You're like, yeah, buddy, get some. Or we are close to the racetrack in San Diego County, like the horsing racetrack. So we'll have people during the racetrack season, which is our high season because it's also the summertime. So there's also tons of people in town because we're like a block away from the beach. So there's just a shitload of people. So summertime's great, stacking a lot of money in the summertime. And the you'll get people that win huge at the track, and they'll come in and like, yeah, I just won 30 grand, and they'll buy rounds for the bar, and then they'll tip you like $500, and like that shit's great. So it's rare, but it happens. So tell them not to feel that bad. He used to say we almost died partying for the first time in America. Yeah. Well, welcome to America. You're good to go. Tipping culture, Japan, China seems to not exist, so it's different, I guess. Oh yeah. Are you from Stefan? I didn't realize you are from Asia, out in Japan and China. It's definitely not the same as the States. The most prolific tipping in the world happens in America, for sure. Yeah, that I've seen in all the places that I've been. Miss Nat Hunter, been super busy. Glad to see you. Glad you can make it back. Good questions tonight, guys, she says. So, yes, you guys always come up with good questions. Got my foot in the door. Taylor Richards saying I got my foot in the door. I'm a beer tender right now. Hey, that's great. I made a video a little while ago about like the easiest bartending job to start out as like a tap room bartender. And if you work at those places that are busy and you can kind of get that like $1 per drink average going on, like I have some friends that work in those places. They do decent. It's not bad. It's not that bad. But no Stella. Well, hey, it's all good. You can always grab a 6-pack on the way home, girl. Aldwin Games, $100 is more than I make in tips delivering pizza, so I'd be stoked to average. Yeah, it would definitely be a step up. If not, you would at least average the same as like a pizza did, and then it's just going to go up as you move into better shifts and actually becoming a full bartender. I'd say I'd say you could. Oh man, it's really hard. I don't want to put a number on it because then I'll disappoint somebody. But I'd say that it's not too difficult once you've figured out your job. As soon as you have a little bit of experience, and not in terms of like that's what you need to get a job, but just in like you understand how the kind of the flow of it goes, and you're able to, find a place and get a job that's decently busy. $100 a shift isn't too difficult. I know I live in kind of a unique market, so it's like I know most of my friends and most of the people around here that are in the scene definitely average well over $100 a shift. So it shouldn't be too hard to find that. Yay! Miss Nat Hunter, meet Miss Taylor Richardson. Man, where are we at here? How many questions I got? I want to make sure I get through these so I don't quit doing tangents on some of them. That looks like we got a couple I can get through here. All right, Stefan, it's got some good ones here. Do you feel like the new generation of bartenders are just in for the fame of social media bragging rather than providing actual service? That's a good question. I don't know. I think there's definitely certain people that are out there that are just about that, It's like the super hot 18-year-old girl who just got lucky because she was born with those genetics, and social media happens to be a platform that holds up and um, idolizes that person, and her head gets inflated because she thinks she did something awesome other than just getting really lucky with time and place in her life, and where culture is in society. So I think that some people go out there doing that, looking for that element of it, but um, I think the people that are like the the working bartenders, the blue collar dudes and gals that are out there doing it every day, I don't see many of them giving a fuck about social media stuff. I know that it's important though. I do know that there are a lot of places like if you're new, you should. It's kind of hard, because it's hard to say that because if you're brand new, it's hard to get a following for that. But I do know that a lot of places, or not a lot, I should say a lot of places. I know that some places, at least in this market in San Diego, will look at your social media following in considering when they're doing hiring, because what they want to see is not that you're popular. They don't give a shit about that. I mean, it is popular, but what they're looking at is like, this is free advertising. It's like, if this person has 5 million followers and they come work at our bar, they can do a shout out to their people and be like, hey, I'm working here tonight, come down, and they can bring people in. So it's a completely selfish thing, but I know that's not really your doesn't really answer your question. You're talking about the people that are actually just doing it to be, because their egos are they're narcissistic, they're just narcissists. So the ego is taking over. So I don't see that a lot from the people that are actually like, I'll call them blue collar, which I would consider myself in that label, blue collar bartenders. But there's definitely overlaps, again, tends to coincide with like the really beautiful ones that are in the scene that just, happen to kind of be able to build that sort of following on their own. But I didn't really pay attention to it. Like I said earlier in the show, my social media is horrific beyond YouTube because I just don't care and I don't have the time and I don't, want to spend the hours and 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 hours to do it. It's like I'm putting all my attention on this one, and if everybody else wants to figure it out and go follow me on other stuff, great. But I don't really do anything on them. So average, Taylor says 30 to 50 in tips right now. So that's not too bad, that's pretty standard when you're first starting out. So back up to whoever asked that earlier, Aldwin, I think, or Stefan. Yeah, 50 to 100 bucks average. 50 to 100 bucks. It's probably pretty close. Stefan says because but the second part of your question, I don't think that there's a lack of customer service in that. And that if somebody's doing it just to be some kooky social media star, then they're going to get exposed for being kind of a fraud. So, yeah, you definitely need to have your customer skill game on point because you're not going to last very long if you don't, in my opinion. So it seems a lot of young bartenders get annoyed, staff and still, that have to leave their phone and make drinks at times. I mean, you should never have. That's management's bad. There should be policies where you're not allowed to have your damn phone out while you're at work, unless you're doing something in the moment, like you're taking a picture for somebody, or you're taking a picture of the schedule, or you're texting somebody who's late. Your phone should be in your pocket. You shouldn't have your damn phone out, and you definitely shouldn't be scrolling through fucking Instagram while you're at work and there's people staring at you that want drinks. If I saw that and I was the manager, you would be gone. Steve Morgan, surfer snowboarder, bartender, hot water heater repairman, yoga and Bali. You're the most interesting man in the world. I thought you were to say that was you. Was like, dude, we're so similar. Yeah, I have been lucky. I'm not the most interesting man in the world, but it's because I've made intentional steps towards what I want in my life and have cultivated a cool life. I've been lucky. I was born as a white man in America. I mean, that's about as lucky as you can get. So I had a lot of luck fall my way. But it's still it's still about ignoring all the noise. Social media is a perfect example. All the stuff shows that it's bad for you. It makes you depressed. It's not contributing to the positivity in your life. Like social media is the new TV of the 70s and 80s, where you just get sucked in and you basically waste your life watching fucking TV. Social media does the same thing, where you just need to turn it off or whatever is distracting you, whatever your distractions are, and figure out what you want to do. What do you want to do with your career? What do you want to do in your personal life? What do you want to do in your health? Figure that shit out, write it down, make a list of how to do it, and then you'll surprisingly move towards it. Because if you don't, you're going to end up somewhere completely different, and you're like, how the fuck did I end up here? Jack of all trades. Thank you, Noel. All the way. Okay, get hangover if you drink 190 proof moonshine. Yes, that would definitely, that tastes like peach schnapps, that would definitely give you a hangover. Kawoni Gaming. Totally butchering that. Any tips for a new home and party bartender? Yeah, I got a whole, go watch the How to Get Started Bartending in 48 Hours. It talks about private parties. Just because I got a bunch of questions I want to get to before we run out of time. So I'm gonna defer to the video that I already have on that one. And Kawani Gaming. I know I'm getting kind of behind on the question, so I'm trying to catch up. Go check out that video. It'll answer that question. Let's see, Max, live in Sweden, age limit is 18. Sweet! There you go, buddy. You're stoked. On your way, working his bar back. You're on it, man. There you go. School helps a lot after. Yeah, so the bartending schools in Sweden are legit. Way more legit than they are in America. Which I know I kind of have a tone of anti-bartending schools. I'm not anti-bartending schools, I just don't like the way that they frame what you get out of them here in the States. Like in America, they frame it that you get the same thing that you guys actually get in Europe. Like they help you find a job, and it's very fundamental and very comprehensive training. Versus like in the States, they just teach you a huge list of drinks, and then like, oh yeah, you're gonna get a job for sure, and then they kick you out the door after you pay $300 for $500 for a week-long course. And in the States, a bartending school diploma is basically worthless. And I know that in Europe it's way more legit and way more professional. And I'm not, as far as I know it's required in some places actually. So anyway, good for you, man. You're on the right track. Yeah, Stephens, in Japan, tipping doesn't really happen. American tourists tip the waiters and bartenders. People in Japan, they have to hand the money back. That's true. I mean, when we travel, like when we get on to Indonesia or anywhere in Southeast Asia, anywhere, this is just like cultural stuff. Anytime you travel, you should do a little bit of research about the culture before you go, so you don't look like a stupid kooky American. And that's cool that they'll hand it back. Sometimes they'll make fun of you. Like I've seen people where they're just like, stupid, he doesn't know what he's doing. But anyway, it's all good. Taylor works at the pool hall. Sweet. I'm assuming, right? Is that what you mean, Taylor? Stefan is asking bartenders to surprise me. Annoying to ask? Nah, you never know what you're going to get, but you can ask. Yeah, I'm not the social media type. Yeah, have you seen the new Jameson whiskey? What's a new Jameson? I haven't seen it. Caskmates IPA. Oh yes, I have seen that. Isn't that a beer, or is it like a IPA infused Jameson whiskey? Almost bought that yesterday. Got the Caskmates stout instead. Drinking it now. Yeah, it's like a beer. Yeah, I've seen that. Gaming noob. Hey, do you refrigerate store-bought simple syrup? I do not. Just because it's just straight sugar, so it doesn't go bad. And the just basic. Let's see, where do I have some down here? Like this shit that I have. Yeah, this stuff, simple syrup, sugar. Like I don't refrigerate this. Same thing in my actual bar that I work at. It just sits out. It's on our shelf, but we don't refrigerate it. I know if you like hand make stuff, maybe you might need to do that. But Usually when stuff has that much sugar in it, it won't go bad. But you got to keep it clean and closed because little bugs and ants will get in that, and then you'll be toast. Let's see. Where are we at here? Miss Nat Hunter. I haven't tried it yet, but we should. Woo! Oh, you're talking about that? Yeah, the cask stuff. GMO. Courtney, surprise me. Do you make a good blank? What's your favorite drink to make? Annoying but tolerable on a slow Wednesday. With 15 people waiting behind you, it becomes annoying. So there you go, Aldwin. Or wait, who asked that? Stefan. There's your answer right there. What Courtney Sampley says. Surprise me. Do you make a good blank? What's your favorite drink to make? Is semi-annoying but tolerable on a slow shift. But if it's busy and you get up to the bar, you better know what you want. And the other thing that pisses me off, or is annoying, is like when people are standing at the bar and they're staring at you and they're trying to get your attention, and you finally get to them. And you go, "What can I get you?" And they're like, and they turn around to their buddies like, "Wait, what did you want?" It's like, motherfucker, if you're standing here waving at me and shit, if I come over and I'm busy and you don't know what the hell you want, I'm going to walk away. And I do that all the time. And I'm like, better get what you want figured out. I'll be back. You know, and then they got to wait for me to go all the way down and back or around or whatever. And then they'll learn. They'll learn. But yeah, if they're busy, just spit it out, what you want. Brandy in the brandy glass for me. It's cold and sleet here in Dallas, says Miss Nat Hunter. Oh, man. Sleet? Cold in Dallas? I thought you guys are like out here in California weather. I thought it's like always warm and sunny, except for when you get like crazy hurricanes coming through and shit. Let's see. Okay, cool. So we're getting through it. A few more questions if you got any more. We're about 8:15. Let's do the 5-minute countdown. If you guys have any other pressing questions that you want answered, then throw them out now. The Stella is almost gone. I am able to nurse a Stella for an entire hour and 15 minutes. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Let's see here. You guys are chit-chatting back and forth. Good, good. Stephanie, I try to give details. Otherwise, they can know what I like. Yeah. Question, Stefan, if it's busy and you're just kind of chit-chatting and the bartenders seems like they're open to just kind of shooting the breeze with you, then you can get into like, well, what do you like to make and what's your favorite? And that's a common question. I'm surprised I haven't gotten that actually tonight. I almost get that every week is what's your favorite drink to make? I don't have a favorite drink to make. It's like whatever you want. Whatever makes you happy, that's my favorite drink to make. I don't have one. Most bartenders don't have a drink that they have their favorite where you order it and they're like, oh, yay, I get to make my favorite drink. They don't really care. We're just making whatever. The favorite drink is one that's fast and easy. That's their favorite drink. A vodka soda with a lime, something they can just bang out, or like a bottle, opening a freaking Budweiser or a Stella, Give me 2 Stellas, bang, there you go. Click, click, there it is. And they tip you $2 on it. Sweet. Fast is good. So when people, I'm gonna start answering that. I keep giving the like whatever your favorite drink is routine. It's a little too literal and actual answering it for what my favorite cocktail is. The favorite order is whatever's fast and quick, because then I can, serve you and move on to the next, especially if it's busy. Jameson, so the Jameson cask is Jameson's finished in old craft beer barrels. I thought there's the other way around though, where there's like Jameson infused beer. Maybe I'm just making that up. I don't know. Unique Savvy. Hello, I'm going for my first bartender interview. In a couple of days. Can you please give me some pointers? Oh, Unique Savvy. I got that whole playlist on how to get a bartending job. Right, let me pull it up so I have the proper name here. I usually have these pulled up for you, but I have a whole playlist. Oh, wait, hold on. I was gonna say I think we hit 50,000 subs. Let me get the actual numbers here before we throw that out. Nope, not quite. Still need another. Still need a few hundred more. So So we're not quite at 50,000. I'm going to do something for 50,000. Or I want to do something for 50,000. I don't know what. Maybe we'll just put some ideas. I don't know. But anyway, where the hell was I going? Oh yeah, the playlist here. The pardon me. I have a little tickle in my throat. I've been a little bit not sick, but just like a raspy throat thing. How to become a bartender playlist. That is the one. Unique Savvy. Go watch that playlist. How to become a bartender. And there's a bunch of good videos, especially the little, the 4-part little mini series in that playlist called How to Become a Bartender with No Experience. Go watch those. That'll answer. There's a whole 4-part video about all the how to get going. Cal Russell. Good cognacs. What are so good cognac? What are some good cognacs? Man, cognac's not my forte. So, any ones that are expensive and aged really well? No. Yeah, I think Miss Nat threw out some Hennessy. You know, so any of the name brands. Each liquor manufacturer, and this is true with like cognac or anybody, they all make high-end versions. So if you have a particular label or type of brand that you like, just go see their line. You know, go look online, see what their lineup is that they make, and whatever their high-end stuff that's been aged forever is going to be good. Even if you don't like cognac. Like, I don't like scotch, but my father-in-law drinks scotch, and he's got some really nice scotch, like some 25 and some 50-year, you know, shit that he'll bust out on Christmas or something on a special holiday. And it's like, I don't like scotch, but like a 50-year scotch is pretty fucking incredible. It's so good that you can drink it even if you're not a scotch drinker. So same thing with cognacs or whiskeys or tequilas or anything. It's all like that. So all of the brands have good. So it's just personal preference, really. Get a Bud Light in a bottle, surprise. Yep, there you go. Courtney CMB, that's quick and easy. You know what I mean? Shake, hell yeah, softball size hail. Cray cray, tornadoes and shit out in Texas. Miss Nat, mom lives in Long Beach. Definitely plan to visit later this year. Sweet. Well, if you get on down to San Diego, come visit me. Stefan, is there a difference between American and European bartending schools? I didn't even realize. Yeah, for sure. The European bartending schools, as far as I know, is where bartending schools started. The American bartending schools ripped off and did a shitty job of it, of what they have in Europe. So if you want to go to a bartending school and you're on that side of the world, go to Europe. Don't come here, because the ones here suck. And they don't suck, but they're not as good. You know, some people go to them, and maybe some people like it's cool. It's cool. You know, it gives you confidence, gives you a feeling for it, so it's all good. Let's see. I'm a boring drinker. I get gin and tonic or rum and coke. If I'm in a Korean place, I love soju. I don't know soju. I don't know if I've ever had soju. So Stefan makes a good point. I get gin and tonic or rum and coke. So for all you guys that are new or coming into the industry or thinking about getting into the industry and you're worried about not knowing drinks, what Stefan just said is your customer. They don't know crazy drinks. They don't come in trying to play stump the bartender. They come in and order the same shit that they order, always have, always will, and it's usually basic, self-explanatory, 2-part vodka, soda, rum, and coke type drinks. Most of the crazy drinks that you need to know are the ones that are on your menu, and you're going to have them on your menu, and you can look at them, and you'll practice them, and you'll know them. So that's kind of my main point of contention with the bartending schools that have the main premise behind what they teach you is this huge laundry list of drinks, because you'll never use most of them. BartendingPro hat and shirt giveaways. Ooh, that's a good call, Nat. Good call. 50,000 sub hat. I gotta get some more hats. I don't have any more. I was gonna I ordered a bunch and I was gonna sell them or try to sell them or something, you know. and I ended up giving them all to all my friends and shit. So shirts are easy. Shirts are easier. I'm gonna do some shirts. Maybe I can order some hats because hats are cool, but I'll definitely get some shirts to give away. That's a good fucking call, Nat. I'm gonna send you a shirt just for telling me that. You just got yourself a shirt, Nat. Good on you. Let me make a note for that. Send me an email so I don't forget, Nat. Do me a favor. Send me an email so I don't forget at support@bartendingblueprint.com. And I'm going to send you a shirt. And I'm going to get some, you know what I should do is I should get like what my buddy did is he just got like, my friend's got a surf company. It's completely unrelated to bartending, but he just got, like he took his logo and he just made a little circular patch. And then he just puts them on everything. He'll sew them on like beanies. He'll sew them on like hats. And that's super easy. That's what I should do. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll just get a bunch of patches made, and then I can put them on whatever the hell. Yeah, the hats are cool. I know. I want to get some of them made. So, yeah, you go, Nat. For sure. Send me an email so I don't forget, because I got a million things on my plate, and I'll guarantee I'll forget. So support@bartendingblueprint.com. Tell me, he's like, hey, send me a t-shirt. You don't even have to remind me, and I'll remember once I get the email. And I'm going to send it to you. I'll probably just give you the links and then... No. Yeah, send me an email. I'll send it to you. Okay. What do we got here? Almost 8:30. So let's cut it down here. Everybody likes the idea about the shirts. Sweet. Okay, so next week... Let's see. Hopefully we'll hit 50 by then. 50 subs by next week. So whenever we get to the live stream, once I pass 50,000, then I'm going to give those out, which will be either next week or the week after for sure. So make sure to come tune in. I should make a video too, so it posts to everybody, because I know a lot of people can't make these. So I'll make a video about it. That's like a formal, actual video that's on the channel, and it'll go out to all you guys. So if you're interested in getting a shirt, make sure you're a subscriber, because then you'll get notified when that video comes out. Cool. Taylor's like, I want a shirt. All right, Taylor, then tune back into the same show next couple of weeks, and then you'll get a shot. Or keep an eye out. Make sure you're subscribed and keep an eye out for that video. Of course not. Thanks for supporting, girl. I love you. Okay. I think that's gonna be it, boys and girls. I want a hoodie. Ooh, that's a good call too. Fuck, I need to make some hoodies. Man, I'm gonna go open up a damn, I don't know, what are those, like what's one of the ones my wife always get, like Etsy, open like an Etsy store or something. That's so much time to do that. I don't have fucking time. Anybody want to do that for me? You want to set that up, and I'll cafe press. There you go. Somebody help me do that, and we'll figure out. We'll make a deal. Got a rep, BartendingPro. Yeah, buddy. Cool. All right, guys. We're going to cut it there. So thanks for showing up. Appreciate the love and the support. And t-shirts are coming as soon as we hit the 50,000. We're almost there. I need a couple. I think it says 50,000 on my channel right now. But if I go into my dashboard, I still need, I think, like 400 or so subs. So that's usually a week or so, definitely within the next 2 weeks. And then I'll give away some cool shirts. So thank you for watching. If you're new, like I said, make sure you subscribe. If you want to support, you can become a member. If you want to support directly, you can become a member at bartendingblueprint.com, or you can go over to patreon.com/bartendingpro. Or just being a subscriber and coming in and showing up is supporting me. So thank you very much. I love you guys. I'm Jason. This is Making You a Bartending Pro. And shakas and peace and love to everyone. Hugs. I will see you next week. Same time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, California, West Coast, America time for this show. And we'll do it again. All right, you guys. Take care. Thanks for showing up. I'll see you next week.